We're going to do something we've never done on this show before, and that is use the Tier Maker app, which everyone knows and loves, to figure out where Jared Verse ranks among the NFL's best edge rushers. Me, Anthony, Earl, we picked 15 guys that we are going to rank and figure out what tier Jared Verse fits into. Tier 1's going to have one guy, Tier 2's going to have two guys, 3 will have 3, 4 will have 4, and 5 will have 5, rounding out the top 15 edge rushers in the NFL. These are the 15 names we are going to sort, and then we'll put them in order. In no particular order, these are the 15 possibilities for us to rank. Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Burns, Danielle Hunter, Jared Verse, Josh Allen Hines, Khalil Mack, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, Montez Sweat, Myles Garrett, Nick Bonito, Nick Bosa, TJ Watt, Trey Hendrickson, and Will Anderson Jr. So, Ant, are you on the tier maker? We ready? Guys, who do you think, if there's any debate even remotely, is the one guy we're putting in tier 1?
No, this is the league. This is the list of integrity. This is by fact. There's no debating this. The number one dude on the board is Los Angeles Rams, Myles Garrett. That sounds weird.
Yeah, there's
All in
no
agreement.
There's no
Easy.
debate.
All right,
money.
who do you think are the two guys that fall into tier 2 then?
Very easy. I think this is very easy. You got Micah Parsons and TJ Watt.
I don't know if I agree with that.
What you mean?
Jason? Earl?
Who else would you put there? I think I would agree with that. Would you put Hutchinson up there?
Will Anderson is the guy that I think is.
Hey man, he in that next tier.
I
But
mean, we're just going on ability today.
ability.
Yeah, right now.
This is not contract. This is nothing. This is just
This straight ability. This is not
best pass rusher.
not accolade. This is just
Just best pass
ability,
rushers.
production.
I mean, I put TJ Micah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy money.
I'm outvoted. There you go. Those two.
Earl, you got disagreement with that?
no.
Okay, we see this is very easy.
All right, tier 3.
I put Will on this one.
Now, here you
We
go.
got 3 guys for tier 3.
Okay. All right. So I got Aiden Huntington in that mix. I got him in that mix.
Hutchinson.
Excuse me, Aiden
Not Huntington,
Yeah.
who's the defensive tackle for the Browns.
I've been watching too much tape. If we can get 80-10, I got Hutchinson. I got Will Anderson. And it's tricky between Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson.
I'd put Max Crosby.
And I would lean Max Crosby.
Yeah.
So
Nick Bosa, reigning former DPOY, not in the conversation yet. I'm asking. I'm not putting him there. I'm just asking.
no, I
Will, Aiden, Max.
yeah.
I think we're in agreement.
Yeah.
I'd put Hendrickson in the next one.
Yes, I would too.
How many is in that one?
4 in the next one.
Hendrickson, Bosa, Burns.
Man.
And Verse.
I think we're getting to, yeah.
You're getting verse territory.
I would go Hendrickson,
So we have
Bosa.
Hendrickson and Bosa.
Bosa, Verse.
It could be between Josh Allen Hines, Danielle Hunter, or Verse. And I would go Verse over Hunter.
All right, but
and
this
Allen.
is if you're going to be ethical. How would you have answered this question 2 weeks ago?
Danielle Hunter, by the way, the last 3 seasons, 16.5 sacks, 12 sacks.
I probably
and
would
15
still have
sacks.
Verse in tier 3, maybe tier 4.
I would have Verse.
Verse is a baller.
I would
He
have
is.
Verse. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I would have Verse because I would have looked at his sack totals for the last 2 years and only seen 12. And I would have been like, Danielle Hunter and Josh Allen Hines is getting me more than that. So I would have had him a tier lower. But since I'm biased,
No, but see, I still would have had him where I have him at now because he did win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, okay.
He is a 2-time Pro Bowler.
I think
and-
he's right on the edge of end of tier 4 start.
Yeah, I'm around dudes who do stats all the time, and I know he top 3 in pass rush rate and pressures and this, that, and the third. So
I would.
to me, I'm looking at this for that list. My 4 would be Hendrickson, Bosa.
So those two are we all in agreement on those two
Yes.
for sure? Tier 4, okay.
Verse goes in this tier to me.
And I would take Josh Allen. How many sacks Josh Allen Hines have last year?
Last
It ain't
year,
just about the
Hines
sacks, though.
Allen had 8 sacks last year.
How old is he?
So by the way, guys who aren't in here yet on this list.
Yeah.
Brian Burns finished second in the NFL last season with 16.5 sacks.
I had
Yep,
Burns in this
yep.
tier.
I'm just saying, guys who we have all is in agreement. Hunter finished third in the NFL with 15.5 sacks. Nick Bonito finished fifth with 14 sacks. I believe he finished third in Defensive Player of the Year voting. You have Jared Verse. You have Montez Sweat, who had 10 sacks last year. And Khalil Mack, who's Khalil Mack.
I can't ignore it. I would have to go Danielle Hunter, and then I would put Verse.
I think Verse would be he would be the start of tier 5 for me.
So who would be your two guys here, Jason?
I would put Burns above him, and probably Hunter above him.
So I was outvoted because he didn't have Burns. We had Burns.
So Burns is in with 2 votes then. And G, who was your third guy here?
Did
you have Verse or Hunter?
My two guys was Danielle Hunter and Verse in this, so I got outvoted on Burns.
I would put Burns and Hunter. So I don't know how we split that because they both
I had
said
Verse. And
So
you
it's
had
we
like
have
two-
two.
it's
We have
two-
2-2-2.
So you, Mike, you got to be the tiebreaker here.
It's tough because I think all of
Whoever
them-
doesn't get this is going the first in tier 3. These are 3 in any order you want.
Yeah.
I put first in there because we're a Brown show, and we'll start Danielle Hunter the next one. And I feel like that's very disrespectful to Danielle Hunter.
It is.
But
It
you
is.
know what? How about this?
For sure it is.
Put Brian Burns in 5. Put Danielle Hunter in 4. Hunter's done it longer, more longevity. Verse is the best run defender of the trio.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we're sleeping on Nick Bonito here, guys.
I do too, but he's a 1 year.
2 years.
How many years he didn't?
2
How
years.
many he didn't put it
It's
together?
2 years.
No, last two.
But-
I mean, he had 13.5 sacks and then 14 sacks. the
Okay.
last
I mean,
he's cooking.
ultimately, this is a good problem. Like we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're splitting
we-
hairs
It
here.
ain't disrespectful.
He's a top 12.
So that puts him in real
Ish.
quick. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's 10, 11, 12 in somewhere in that range. 10, 11, 12 is where
I think that's fair.
Jared Verse falls, which I feel pretty good about.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I still think had this trade not happened, you guys would have Verse lower.
I wouldn't.
Oh, I would have.
All right,
I'm willfully admitting because I would have been the Duke of the. Nah, bro. How you got Jared Verse in here?
Like, to me, when I initially seen the trade, I was not a player. I was not a person who didn't know who Jared Verse was.
Yeah.
And so just knowing who Jared Verse was, knowing he was a Pro Bowler, I mean, you see him play for the Rams.
Yeah.
Like, you see the highlights, you see him scoring the touchdown. He had a special teams touchdown, I think, last season, a couple defensive touchdowns, Pro Bowler, defensive rookie of the year. He's not a no-name guy.
No, he's not. He's not at all. So if you're going to argue, is he top 10, is he top 12 or 13, you're not really arguing anything.
Right.
Like it's
So
he's an excellent player.
I think you would have been more concerned with a person like me if I would have just had him tier 3 and tier 2. But
Yeah.
like, no, I think he's properly placed. I wouldn't have had him lower than what he's at right now.
I will say though, it's crazy because I think the main difference that I'm looking at is the difference between 1 and like
2.
2 is crazy.
The gap between 1 and 2
It
is wider than 2 to.
It's a chasm. Like, it's crazy.
Do you know how I see this? And Steve, leave this up. The first 3 tiers, and from a pure pass rushing standpoint, maybe Hunter you could throw in there and Bosa if he's fully healthy. Those are individual game wreckers, right? Like those guys, and Burns doesn't provide much as a run defender, but as a pass rusher, maybe he's in that conversation. Like those guys can completely single-handedly wreck a game plan. The other guys are more well-rounded overall defensive ends that do a little more. Because Verse, he has a bunch of pressures. A lot of that's been from him being ahead in games and being able to pin his ears back. He's better as a run defender than he is as a pass rusher. Like he's a top 2-3 run defender in the entire NFL at that position. I don't think he's single-handedly blowing up passing games, and I don't think any opposing offensive coordinator has run this set of plays when Jared Verse is on the
Right,
bench.
that's
like we
crazy.
saw Mike LaFleur do with Myles Garrett.
It's crazy.
But he is as well-rounded as anyone in Tier 4 or Tier 5 for sure when you look at the overall package Jared Verse brings as a defensive end to this Browns defense.
And
Was Trey Hendrickson on the Bengals roster the year that they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He
I'll
was.
double check, but I believe
Yeah,
so.
my initial reaction.
So you're looking at all these elite pass rushers, and only him and Nick Bosa have played
Oh, we made that point
in the
before.
Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
it's just bringing it back. Like, man, football is the ultimate team sport. You truly need all 11 parts moving in the same direction at the same time to have success, because all those young men on that list are great individually and ain't really did a damn thing for team success.
It's so funny because Myles Garrett, if you look at it at the top of the list, he's more athletic than everybody, even though they're smaller than him. He's probably the biggest defensive end on that list in terms of weight. He also, if you think about it, is more durable. Like, I look at some of these guys, Michael Parsons injury history, TJ Watt injury history. Myles Garrett has never missed any substantial time
Except
in his
for
career.
when he
Early in his career, I thought he had a couple.
Well, he didn't play the first 3 or 4 games of his rookie season due to injury. I mean, of course, he had the accident where he rolled his car and he missed games, because of that. But
I think he
missed one.
He missed one.
he
game.
missed one.
I think
He missed one for flipping the car. Yeah.
Which
So
is still wild to me. I don't understand. But the fact, and plus the production is just, look, man.
Miles missed real quick. He missed 5 games his rookie year, and then he played 10 games in 2019. Since then, he's played in at least 14 games in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight seasons.
yeah, injuries were a bugaboo for him early on, and then I don't know. He's been healthy.
yeah, he is.
Yeah. So anybody really quickly before we can or we, I know this is a topic, but maybe we'll just talk. What number does Jared Verse have to get to where you would be like, because we say, oh, we don't care about the number now. Oh, no. We care about the number. It's just like going into negotiations.
The number of sacks?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's got 5.5 sacks in December, there's gonna be people that have a problem with that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Let's not. People don't. All right, the money don't matter. Let you go into that new negotiation. And
Year 3, I say if he had a double-digit number, 10 sacks, I think people would be cool with that.
yeah, if he give me minimum.
No? You don't think so?
Oh no, yeah.
No, minimum to me is 9.
Yeah.
I got to see 9 at least. If he get anything over, I'm not gonna say it would make me forget, but if you just said, hey, Jared Verse had 14 sacks, I'd be like, oh, we want to trade. Because I'm gonna say, listen, Miles consistent years, he gives you 14 until he took that jump to 20.
I'm excited to see what Alex Wright and Isaiah McGuire bring to the table this year. I'm excited to see where Mason Graham is. I'm excited to see what Mike Hall can possibly, bring to the table, if anything. Can Malik Collins be as dominant as he was last year before the injuries? This is going to be by committee now, right? You don't have Miles up there and everybody is focused on Miles. So everybody is going to have to hold their own weight. It can't be one guy dominating the sack numbers. I thought Alex Wright did a great job of explaining, like, as a team, we had 51-something sacks, right? So don't sit up here and try to play the rest of us like we can't go out here and get the job done. And I think that that's going to be a motivated group because they listen to things, they read things, and they probably believe that everybody is going to count them out or automatically look at them as lesser than without Miles. So how does that rev you up internally to go out here and ball out and put some numbers out there? So
I need
we'll
6
see.
apiece. I need 6
From
Mason,
McGuire and Wright.
I need 6 of Mason, 6 apiece. I need from you, Isaiah. I'm gonna let you know right now, bro.
Who had the second most sacks for the Browns last year, Mike?
Who do you think?
Malik Collins?
Alex Wright.
I'm pretty sure it's Malik Collins, and he played. It was Malik Collins. Yeah, he played 12 games.
Well, the interesting part about this, how many times last year did we
By the
say?
way, the Browns, I hear what you're saying, Earl. They had 51 sacks. No one outside of Miles and Malik Collins did jack crap.
Yeah, I need 6 apiece.
Alex Wright had 5.5. Delpit had 3. Cam Thomas had 2.5. McGuire had 2. Mike Hall had 1.5. Shelby Harris had 1. Mason Graham had half a sack. That
Yeah.
51 is all because Miles
Yeah,
had
so
3.
Alex Wright would be the guy outside of Jared Verse. I think most people will look at it and say, okay, I need more from you this
But
year.
how many times last year did we say the attention that Miles gets helps Malik Collins? And well, all that's gone now.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna find out how good Mason Graham really is.
How many pass rush moves you got? Because you ain't got 6 people on Myles Garrett. You gonna have to get your own plate.
One last thing before we take a break. The Browns safety coach is talking right now, is asked about Grant Delpit, whether or not he's hurt or performing a hold-in. We had that whole discussion earlier in the show. His answer, no comment. We have some comments, though, on the World Cup, some Super Chats and 60-second trivia coming up in 2 minutes right here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.